Mainit na usapin ngayon sa Malacanang matapos kumpirmahin na isusulong na ni Pangulong Ferdinand Coutinho Jr. ang impeachment case laban kay Vice Presidente Inday Sara Duterte. Ayon sa mga ulat, napagpasyahan ito ng Pangulo matapos ang ilang hindi pagkakaintindihan at tensyon sa pagitan nila na nagkalap ng impormasyon tila lumalalim ang hidwaan ng dalawa na dati magkaalyado. Sa kabila ng banta ng impeachment, lumalaban din si VP Sara. Ayon sa kampo ng Vice Presidente, may hawak siyang ebidensya ng umano'y mga katiwalian ng Pangulo na kaya niyang ilabas sa publiko. Dagdag pa ng mga kaalyado ni VP Duterte, malakas ang loob nilang tutulan ang hakbang ng Pangulo at handa silang harapin ang anumang aksyon mula sa pamahalaan. Samantala, patuloy na nagmamasid ang sambayanan sa nagaganap na alitan sa pagitan ng dalawang pinakamataas na opisyal ng bansa. Naging para isipan sa marami kung hanggang saan aabot ang tensyon at kung ano ang magiging implikasyon nito sa politika ng bansa. At yan ang balitang ating pagkakatutukan. Ngunit bago ang lahat, siguraduhin mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell para sa patuloy na pagtutok sa mga silip ng bagong balita sa tunay na boses ng masa.
Alam nyo, kasalanan din ni Sara to eh. Oo, kasalanan to ni Sara eh. But anyway, ito kasi. Alleged envelopes from Duterte may have aimed to influence ex-DepEd Yusek, or undersecretary. Oo, matindi to guys. Matindi to, oo. Related itong kwento na to doon sa isa pang inexpose ng isang member of the Congress. Oo. Baka lang nakalimutan niyo na, mapaalala ko mamaya. Baka lang naman, baka lang. Ito yung statement. Panoorin natin yung statement.
Statement. Meron po kayong statement na sasabihin, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Iyan na.
Before I start, I just want to say that this is a very difficult thing to do, and I apologize to my children who didn't like me to join this session, and also my colleagues who are my friends, but I have to read my statement. My name is Gloria Humamil Mercado, and I have dedicated over 40 years to public service in the government of the Philippines. In my last year with government, I served as the Undersecretary for Human Resource and Organizational Development of the Department of Education.
Uy, pareho kami ng work, HROD.
I was appointed as DepEd Undersecretary by President Marcos, as recommended by Vice President Sara Semerman Duterte in 2022, and I assumed office in August of 2022 and February 2022. In February 2023, I was designated as the head of the procuring entity of DepEd. As one of the signatories of DepEd's checking account, alongside Undersecretary for Finance, Annalyn Sevilla, I signed checks related to all funds, and recall that some of the checks that I signed amounted to 37,500,000 pesos.
Nice.
Between
Nice.
February 2023 to September 2023, I received a total of 9 envelopes labeled
Yun!
Hope, my concurrent position in DepEd during that time.
Agoy!
These envelopes were handed to me mostly by Assistant Secretary Sunshine Fajarda, which she says came directly from Vice President Duterte. What she would typically say as she hands the envelope. It would appear that I received this envelope by virtue of my office as Hope. Attorney Fajarda is the wife of Edward Fajarda, who is the Special Disbursement Officer. Although the exact date evades recollection, sometimes during the course of my tenure with DepEd, a member of my staff informed me that an inquiry was made by one of our officers in the field that Mr. Fajardo had made inquiries about the bank accounts of several individuals and if divulging such information to him was permitted. My office confirmed that it was upon the instruction of the Office of the Secretary. Evidently, it would appear that regional directors and other employees on the field would also receive sums on top of the regular salaries. Sometimes in October 2023, as the likelihood of a bidding failure for DepEd computerization have become apparent, I was approached, by Attorney Monsayak, and he suggested in the presence of other officials who was with me that the bidders should just discuss among themselves. Mag-usap-usap na lang para hindi masayang yung pera ng 2023.
Naalala, etong part na to, mga Kojero. Etong part na to, naalala nyo, meron tayong vinlog before? Ito. Yung all of a sudden, nagkapare-pareho yung presyo ng binibid na laptop. Ito yun eh. Oo, expose yun ni Bonggalon eh. Yan o. Naalala niyo yan? Mukhang ito yun eh. Yung procurement nito. September 3, 2024 to. House Majority Assistant Majority Leader Angelo Bonggalon is seeking an in-depth congressional probe into alleged possible irregularities in the bidding for procurement of laptops and other e-learning equipment of the DepEd during Vice President Sara Duterte's tenure as its secretary. Ito yung rig bidding. Oo, na dapat nakatipid ang gobyerno ng 1.6 billion. Nakatipid dapat ang gobyerno ng 1.6 billion. Kaso lahat ng unang mga bidders disqualify. Pagkatapos ng disqualification, all of a sudden nag-submit ng mga, syempre, magre-reapply sila, bidding yun eh. Nag-submit uli sila ng bid, ay pare-pareho na ang presyo. Oo, pare-pareho na ang presyo. Eto yun. Yung sinasabi ni Mercado, malamang sa malamang, this is a hunch. Pero malamang sa malamang, ito yun. Probably there's an irregularity in the procurement and someone interfered with it. That's my belief. That's all I'm questioning here. The possible irregularity, the graft and corruption that is so patent in this bidding. In other words, the bidding is rigged. Binlag natin to nung September 3, mga Kojero. Oo. Naalala ko bigla nung na-mention ni Mercado yung sinabi ni Monsayak na hayaan niyo na lang mag-usap-usap yung mga bidder. Oo. Hayaan niyo na lang mag-usap-usap yung mga bidder. Uy, gagambaw. Spider-Man. Dito ka. Ano ba, Sarah? Huwag mong bisitahin dito. Ginagagamba ako dito ni Sarah. Anyway. Going back. Ito yun. Okay, tuloy natin.
That the bidders should just discuss among themselves. Mag-usap-usap na lang para hindi masayang yung pera ng 2023. I firmly asserted that the procurement must be implemented and conducted in strict adherence with the rules. Sometimes in the 3rd or 4th week of October, I was summoned by Zulaika Lopez, the Chief of Staff of the Vice President and Undersecretary of the OBP. I was informed that I should tender my resignation effective that day. I refused to resign and I insisted on departing from service through voluntary retirement. The timing of my meeting with Ms. Zulaika struck me as more than coincidental. It gave me the impression that my candid responses was the real reason behind the push to relieve me of my office. It was as if I had become an unwelcome obstacle, despite simply doing my job as Hope and Undersecretary of Human Resources of DepEd. Prior to my meeting with Ms. Zulaika, there were other undersecretaries and assistant secretaries who were summoned also, and were also summoned, all of the same purpose of informing them that they should tender their resignation effective on the same day.
Yun, no? Daming pinatanggal.
I signed my affidavit.
Ayun. Oo. Ayun, ang matindi. Actually, noong una, medyo di ko pa naintindihan yung kwento niya. Oo. It is not until in-interpolate siya ni Kong Luistro na naintindihan ko kung ano yung kinukwento niya. Kasi medyo medyo malabo yung kwento niya eh. Pero nung narinig ko yung mag-usap-usap na lang yung mga bidder sa isa't isa, ito yung naalala ko talaga. Ito yung unang-una ko naalala. Grabe, no? Ang korap ni Sarah. Anyway, ito yung kay interpolation ni Kong Luistro. Medyo mahaba lang, no, 12 minutes. Actually, kung papakinggan nyo yung mga naka-upload online, medyo mas maikli. Mga 5 minutes lang yun. Kasi ang pinapakita na lang nila yung bandang dulo, yung inimpluwensyahan daw ba. Oo, inimpluwensyahan daw ba yung kanyang ganyan, etc. etc. Pero kinuha ko na yung buong context. Medyo mahaba lang, no? Pagtsagaan lang muna natin para maintindihan natin ng lubos saan ba nanggagaling yung kwento. Oo. Tuloy natin.
My question is addressed to Ma'am Mercado. Ma'am, do you confirm when you were still in DepEd, you were occupying concurrently USEC for HR and HOPE?
By the way,
Yes.
Sabay po yun.
By the way, yung HOPE is a head of procuring entity. Ibig sabihin, kapag may binibili pag si DepEd ay may bibiling mga materyales, may mga kukuhaing consultants, etc. etc. At kailangan nilang mag-bid out, kailangan nilang i-bid out yung kanilang mga services na kailangan. Si procuring entity ang tumatrabaho nun. So ang big boss ng procuring entity ay si Ginang Mercado. Siya ang big boss. At dahil siya ang big boss, sa kanya dumadaan yung mga bid. Oo. At kapag sa kanya dumadaan ang mga bid, edi kung sino yung mapipili niya, edi happy-happy, di ba? Ganun lang kasimple yun. Kaya kaya hindi ako magtataka kung bakit siya yung binibigyan ng envelope. Oo. Para, syempre, pampadulas ba? Oo, ganyan. Anyway, tuloy natin.
When were you appointed as Undersecretary for Human Resources and Organizational Development?
We were all appointed together by the President July, but I only assumed
Can you please state the year?
July 2022 po.
Okay.
But I only assumed office in August 15, 2022 because I was still winding up my work with another office.
So you would agree with me if I say that you were appointed as USEC for HR July 22, but you assumed the position August 15, 2022?
Yes,
With
Mr.
respect
Chair.
to your appointment as head of procuring entity, kailan po kayo na-appoint?
That's February 2023.
February 2023.
Yun.
Let's go back to your appointment as USEC for HR. From August 15, 2022, kayo po ba ay pinaakyat din ni ASEC Sunshine to receive this envelope which you refused to open?
Not on 2020. I don't recall 2022. We have we have gifts on December, but I
Maganda
don't
tong
recall
question niya.
a monthly thing before that.
In other words, from August 15, 2022, that is the date of your appointment as USEC for HR. Until before February 2023, which is your appointment as head of procuring entity, you are not receiving any envelope from ASEC Sunshine.
Alam nyo, napakaganda. Alam nyo, ito meron na akong bagong idol. Etong si Kong Jingy, si Kong Jingy Luistro. Alam nyo, kayo dyan sa Congress, sa lower house, you should learn how to interview resource persons like Kong Jinky Luistro. Seriously, I mean, ang galing. Ang galing. Ang galing. Alam nyo, dito sa tanong niya, ine-establish niya yung intent. Ano yung intent? Yung intent na mag-bribe. Di ba? Ang tanong niya, so simula na appoint ka na HR, August 15 hanggang January or February 2023, hindi ka nakakatanggap ng envelope. Di ba? Nag-umpisa lang siya makatanggap ng envelope simula February onwards. During the time na siya ay appointed as head of procuring entity. O di ngayon, nag-e-establish ka na ng intent. Di ba? Nag-e-establish ka na ng intent. Bakit ka binibigyan ng 50,000 ng envelope? Simula nung ikaw ay na-appoint bilang head ng procuring entity. Di ba? Nag-establish siya ng intent. O di ngayon, maisip mo, nga no, bakit nga naman ganun? Di ba? Tuloy natin. Ganda ng tanong na yun.
No. And you will confirm that this envelope started only
See?
when you were appointed as head of procuring entity.
It's actually not very clear to me anymore, but I recall we also received some amounts in 2022, but it's very vague to me anymore. So, and then I don't have the envelope. So, parang it wasn't.
So how do you receive those amounts which are vague, not regular, if there are no envelopes?
No, I think it's only once. It's like a Christmas
Christmas bonus. Wala yun.
Pero siguro hindi siya naka-envelope kasi I didn't keep it.
Tama po bang
Wala yun,
sabihin,
Christmas
ma'am, na yun pong regular monthly envelope which you later on found out contains 50,000 per envelope ay nag-umpisa lamang nung kayo na-appoint as head of procuring entity?
I'm still keeping those envelopes, so I would like to say yes.
Yes. Because it is very
Confirmed.
clear from your affidavit, no? This envelope started in February and ended in
Confirmed.
September of 2023. And earlier you said kayo po'y na-appoint bilang Hope noong February 2023. And prior to that, since your appointment in August 15, 2022, wala kayong nare-recall regular envelope which you were receiving from ASEC Sunshine. Can you please enlighten us? What is with Hope? Bakit doon lang po nag-umpisa itong
Ayan
envelope
na.
na ito upon your appointment as head of procuring entity?
It's a very difficult task, especially for someone who has not tried to be one before. Parang it's an area that I really evaded all my entire government life. But there's just too many already pending procurement at that time. So when I was asked if I could be designated as the Hope, I first referred them to other people who are seasoned in procurement, like sina Yusek Rebsi, but Yusek Rebsi was already too preoccupied with operations. So I finally accepted the position, and it was difficult because I have to study the procurement law, and I was given I had a lawyer and someone who's already a retiree to
Okay.
review the documents with me when we signed the contracts. And I had commitment from when I accepted the post, I made it a family decision, Like among the execom, I asked our legal before, Yusek Brady and ASEC Amanda Nograles, that everything that I signed has to be thoroughly reviewed by legal. And so I
kailangan
had that
talaga yun.
commitment of support from everyone
May
in the
endorsement pa dapat
execom.
yan.
And so I accepted the post.
In brief, ma'am, can you please enlighten us, why do you say na mahirap, difficult ang posisyon ng Hope?
because you have to you have to look through all the documents, and it's like
Which documents, ma'am?
everything that goes through the bidding process. I am not part of the bidding process itself, but on the time that I was appointed, I was the one tasked to form the structure of who's chair for BAC 1, BAC 2. So I spoke to all the people which I know I will have comfort to chair specific committees at specific BAC. But
Yung BAC, mga kotsero, just so that alam natin lahat, BAC is Bidding and Awards Committee. So ito yung mga komite na nagre-receive ng mga application, ng mga proposal, ng mga bids. Tapos sila rin yung nag-aaral ng mga bids kung papasa ba to sa standards na hinihingi ng DepEd. So si Ma'am Mercado, siya rin ang bumubuo ng mga BAC. So siya talaga yung punong abala. O so kung meron kang papadulasan, siya talaga yun. Oo. Siya talaga yun. Kasi siya yung decision maker eh. Sa kanya dadaan lahat. Siya yung decision maker.
the process of bidding, I'm not part of it because you have to maintain you have to
Integrity.
make sure that you're not enmeshed with
Right.
the
Tama.
process itself, but you're just reviewing to make sure that the vice president secretary is protected with everything that I signed because it's a delegated function.
In other words-
she's supposed to be the hope.
In other words, ma'am, you're the person who check all the documents coming from BAC before the vice president signs or approves.
No, I signed because
You
I'm-
signed for
Delegated
I
the...
have to
Kasi-
sign because I'm the one, the hope signs. It's delegated to me already.
And you will agree with me if I would say na you consider it difficult because it concerns matter about procurement and bidding,
Nakatakot
Yes.
talaga
where
yun.
there are a lot of issues surrounding,
Correct.
sometimes
And it's just,
issues
too
about
many.
bribery and corruption. You agree with me?
yes,
And what do you think is the reason kung bakit yung envelope nag-start lang during your appointment as Hope?
I think
Bakit
it's-
po walang envelope nung HR pa lang kayo? Tapos biglang nagka-envelope nung naging Hope kayo?
I think it's like an allowance maybe for an extra work because sometimes I have to
No,
stay
it's not
until
like that.
midnight to look at the documents when sometimes I have
Ganun
If
one
that
yun.
is just an allowance, ma'am, then the rest of
May
the
papeles yan.
officials of the DepEd should be receiving
Correct.
also their respective envelopes. Do you think so? Don't you think so, ma'am?
Tama.
If that is just an allowance, then the
Alam nyo kasi mga kotsero, ito lang, explain lang. Kasi pag binigyan ka ng concurrent role, usually walang dagdag yan sa sahod. Walang dagdag na allowance yan. Kasi concurrent yan, lalo na pag inside the agency. Walang dagdag yan. Hindi yan dinadagdagan. Wala yung envelope, walang ganun. Kasi bago ka makapagdagdag ng allowance, kailangan mag-a-apply ka muna ng approval sa, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong though, sa Civil Service Commission. Kasi mag-iiba siya ng status. So yun, kailangan may papeles yan. Kung hindi man sa Civil Service Commission, well, do kasi yung HR eh. So most probably Civil Service Commission. Yun. May papeles lahat yan. Tsaka hindi allowance ang tawag doon, per diem. May per diem. Pero usually, pag concurrent, binibigyan lang ng per diem kapag, o per dime, some people call it per dime. Binibigyan lang ng ganun kapag ibang office. So, halimbawa, DepEd siya ngayon. Sa DepEd siya. Tapos hiniram siya ng ibang ahensya. Let's say, hiniram siya ng DPWH kasi may expertise din siya sa DPWH. Yun, pwede yun. Magkakaroon ka ng per diem. Or halimbawa, magiging ex-officio ka ng isang board. Halimbawa, si ma'am. Ex-officio official siya ng, for lack of a better example, si PhilHealth. Nakasama siya sa board ng PhilHealth. Yun. Doon lang pwede yung extra. Per diem ang tawag doon. At bago ka pa mabigyan nun, kailangan may approval yon, not only of the secretary, but also of, if I'm not mistaken, Civil Service Commission. May paper trail yan. Hindi pwede magbibigay ka lang ng envelope, para sa pagod mo, para sa hirap. No, it's not like that. Hindi pwede. Hindi pwede. Mali yun. Oo, kaya yung sinasabi ni Kong Luistro, yun yung sinasabi niya, kung allowance yun, edi lahat kayo nabigyan ng allowance. Yun yung sinasabi niya. Kasi kailangan may papeles yan. Tuloy natin.
The rest of the officers of DepEd should have their own envelopes as well.
Right.
Mr. Chair, that's precisely the reason why I did not open any of it.
Para
I
hindi niya
understand.
It's
nirehib.
very uncomfortable on
I
my
understand. And that leads
Absuelto
me
siya
to the
ngayon.
next.
Absuelto siya ngayon dun sa kung magiging part to ng isang kaso sa misappropriation of public funds. Absuelto siya, hindi niya tinanggap eh. Hindi naman niya binuksan. Sabi niya, according to her testimony, binuksan niya nung i-donate na niya sa isang NGO. Doon lang niya nalaman na 50K. Anyway, so tuloy natin.
Next question, ma'am. Why were you so uncomfortable with the envelope when you believe that that is just an allowance?
Because, Ma'am, I'm 40 years, Mr. Chair, I'm 40 years in government. The only time I have an ombudsman case is when I advise my principal not to sign an importation. When I was the deputy cabinet secretary, and I advised my principal not to sign an importation because there was no rice crisis. That's my only ombudsman. I have to protect that name. Self-made po kami. I come from Samar. I was a scholar since I was grade 1 until I took my PhD. So I have all reasons to protect my name, Your Honor.
Yun yung mga alam niyo may mga yung mga nanggaling sa yung mga self-made, yung mga tulad ni Ma'am Gloria. O yung mga hindi anak ng Nipo, mga hindi Nipo babies yan. Ano talaga concern talaga sa pangalan kasi yun lang ang meron, 'di ba? Tayong mga hampas lupa, yun lang ang meron tayo, wala naman tayong iba. Pangalan lang ang meron tayo Wala naman tayong milyones sa bangko. Oo. So tayo, ang kayamanan lang natin na pwede ipamana, maliban sa mga ari-arian na naipundar natin, yung pangalan nating malinis. Yun lang. Oo. Ganon. Hindi katulad ni Sara, Nipo baby, dahil sa pangalan Duterte, naging mayor, dahil sa pangalan Duterte, naging vice mayor, dahil sa pangalan Duterte, naging vice-presidente. Di ba? Walang everything is served to her in a silver platter. Kaya nga nagwawala sa Congress ngayon Sanay kasi siya nang hinahatid lang sa kanya lahat. Hinahatid yung budget, hinahatid lahat. Diba? Nipo baby Nipo baby. So anyway, tuloy natin to. Ako, I can sympathize with Miss Gloria kasi tayo wala tayong kayamanan na maipapasa sa mga anak natin maliban sa malinis na pangalan. That's about it. Wala na. So, it's easy to sympathize with Miss Mercado. Anyway, tuloy natin.
And I'm in the home stretch of my career, and then I'm being thrown into that position which I have no control because I'm only studying it. So that's my
Ma'am, I wish to remind you of the terminologies which you mentioned already, with all due respect po sa inyo, no? Because I want to elicit this information from you. Kanina po sabi nyo, the position, the job of hope is very difficult. Do you confirm?
yes.
Yes. And you did not open the envelope because you feel so uncomfortable. Do you confirm?
Yes.
And then recently you made mention na it was only once that I had this case with the ombudsman. Do you confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also made mention that you wish to protect yourself. Do you confirm?
Yes.
And the
Mr.
reason,
Chair.
ma'am, is because you believe that that envelope is a bribe.
Ooh.
Do you agree with me?
Rekta.
Because otherwise, you will not
Tatamaan
appreciate
siya
the
dyan.
job as difficult.
graft.
You will not uncomfortable opening what you believe is allowance.
I invoke
You will
my
not
right.
be thinking about the ombudsman case. You will not be thinking about protecting yourself. The reason why you are considering all these concerns is because you believe that the envelope is a bribe.
I invoke my
Do
right.
you agree?
I invoke my right.
Yes or no, ma'am?
I invoke my right.
It's kind of harsh word to use, bribe, because if
Or should I say,
oh,
it is a means to influence your decision being the hope?
Same difference, pero lighter.
it could be.
You said yes to that?
It could be. It could be.
You said it could be.
Could be.
I wish to manifest, Mr. Chair, that on the story, on the narration of the resource speaker about this envelope, she received and she refused to open until the same is donated from February 2023 to September 2023 is a means actually to influence the decision of our resource speaker being the one who approved all the decision of the BAC in behalf of the DepEd Secretary. Tama po ba, ma'am?
Ingat
There
ka,
was
ma'am.
only one instance that I could recall na but there was no one spoke to me about there was an instance
Yan na.
where I tried to let a bidding lapse, but I ended up signing it because there was a protest. I'm not comfortable discussing it.
Kailangan, alam niyo mga kotsero, kailangan executive session para makuha yung impormasyon na yun. Alam niyo, pasabog yung sinabi ni ma'am na yun, ha? Oo. Meron daw isang bid na hinayaan niyang mag-lapse. Siguro walang nag-qualify. So hinayaan niya mag-lapse. Pero pumirma siya dahil may pumrotesta. O baka merong nagpumilit. Sinabi, pirmahan mo na yan. Pirmahan mo na yan now na. Ganun. Ma'am, kapag balik nyo po ng lower house, kapag sa hearing ulit, make sure may kasama ko kayong abogado. Kasi at that point, your lawyer should have advised you, I invoke my right against self-incrimination. Kasi tatamaan siya sa graft eh. Tatamaan siya sa graft. Kapag sinabi niya na kapag umuo siya doon sa sa question na do you think this was a bribe? Pag umuo siya doon, edi sasabit siya sa graft and corruption kung magkakaroon ng kaso. Oo, sabit siya doon. Although hindi niya binuksan, so it could be a sign or it could be argued na hindi niya tinanggap kasi hindi niya binuksan. Pero it was in her possession. Oo. So yun. Next time po ma'am, pagbalik nyo dyan, kailangan you should lawyer up. Oh, you should lawyer up. Para para na-advisean kayo ng ng maigi kasi delikado yung mga kinakalaban nyo dito, ma'am. Kung makakarating man sa inyo tong video na to, no. Oo, delikado po yung mga kinakalaban nyo, ma'am. Pumapatay po yan sa Davao. Oo, kaya you should lawyer up, ma'am. Oo. Pero etong si VP, meron siyang effort to discredit itong si Ma'am Mercado. Ano sinabi ni VP? Ni Fiona? Hindi, disgruntled ex-employee lang yan. Disgruntled employee lang yan. Huwag kayo magpapaniwalaan dyan. Galit lang sa akin yan, kaya ganyan yan. Yun ang sinabi ni Sara. Oo. Ang sabi niya, Vice President Sara Duterte on Wednesday claimed that Gloria Humamil Mercado is a disgruntled former undersecretary of the DepEd who was let go after soliciting 16 million from a private company. Meron pang isa. Actually, yung pinanood ko yung interview na yun ni Sarah, dalawang case daw yung nangyari kaya daw siya tinanggal. Una, ay yun dun sa pag-maintain daw niya ng isa pang teacher sa Cebu na COS na contract of service. Pangalawa ay itong 16 million. Oo. Actually, mga kotsero, sabi ko sa inyo, this is a series of unfortunate events. Bakit? Ang pangit ng sagot ni VP. Oo. Kasi dapat ang sinagot niya yung allegations of an envelope. Yun dapat ang sinagot, the allegation of an envelope. Pero ang sinagot niya ay naninira lang yan. Naninira lang yan. Sinisiraan lang ako niyan. It does not follow. Oh, it does not follow, guys eh. Oo, mga kababayan, it does not follow. And this is typical of the DDS bubulagers. Ito yung typical na mga sagot ng mga DDS bubulagers. Kapag merong bato sa kanila, sisipunin ako uboy na ako eh. Anyway, kapag merong binabato sa kanila, their immediate reaction is character assassination. Di ba hindi nila sinasagot yung tanong? Hindi nila sinasagot yung tanong. Ang sinasagot nila, character assassination. Case in point. Si Sara Duterte, hindi nag-appear sa ba to? Hindi nag-appear sa mga budget hearing. Anong sagot niya? Ba't di siya nag-a-appear? Kasi, ang nagpapatakbo daw ng budget hearing ay si Martin Romualdez at si Saldico. Diba? Diba? Ganun eh. Lahat ng sagot nila, it's to divert from the original question. It's called red herring arguments. Red herring arguments, guys. Ang tawag dun. Red herring. Hindi naman yun yung issue pinag-uusapan eh, pero yun ang binibring up mo. What the hell, di ba? Eh nung ngayon, kung disgruntled ex-employee siya, it does not mean that the allegation is false. Sa Tagalog, hindi porke galit siya sa'yo, ibig sabihin, mag-iimbento siya ng kwento laban sa'yo. Eh paano kung totoo yung kwento? Ang maganda dito, mga kotsero. Ang maganda dito. Natanong din si Mercado tungkol dyan. Kasi ang haba ng hearing eh. Nagpa-press con si Sara, tinanong tuloy siya ng isang kongresista. Oo, isang member of the Congress tungkol dun sa mga sinabi ni Sara. Ito yung sinagot niya. Ito, panoorin natin. Medyo 8 minutes lang. Panoorin natin.
Last question.
Magandang balita ang hatid namin sa inyo ngayong araw. Sa pagtatapos ng aming balitaan, nagbigay kami ng mga mahalagang impormasyon. Maraming salamat sa pagtutok at pagsuporta sa aming programa. Huwag kalimutang manatili sa mga susunod na araw para sa mga bagong balita at mga kwento na dapat nating abangan. Mula sa Boses ng Masa, magandang araw, Pilipinas!